Hi there, and welcome back to another video. Now, if you've watched any actual real chess YouTubers, you know that they always jerk off to the bishop pair, right? Oh, the two bishops. Now, conceptually, it makes sense why having two bishops is better than having two knights, or one bishop and one knight, okay? And the concept is pretty simple, because this bishop covers the light squares, and this bishop, oop, that's the wrong bishop. This bishop covers the light squares, and this bishop covers the dark squares. So that way, you have like the whole board covered. But sometimes it's hard to use them in tandem effectively, and it makes sense like in theory, but in practice sometimes it's hard to actually pull off, right? So this is an example of a game where I use the bishop pair to its full advantage, and we have some kind of other like bishop endgame like stuff to talk about. So I hope you will stick around and join me as we look at this endgame. So I play knight takes his bishop, depriving him of the coveted bishop pair, and he takes back. So right now I'm at +4 on the meter here, basically on the eval bar, but I'm at +1 material because I have an extra bishop, but he has these two extra pawns. So that's only +1 on material, but I have the bishop pair. Um, okay. So now we have this position after a couple pawn moves. Now here's the thing about bishops in the endgame. They can only cover half the squares on the board, right? This bishop can never cover a dark square, right? It could just never do that. So I could put so this bishop is never going to be attacked by his bishop. And if I put these pawns on dark squares, right, his bishop can never attack these pawns. So that's the weakness of the bishop and only having one bishop. Here's the thing, though. If you only have one bishop, oftentimes it's better to put your pawns on the opposite color complex as your bishop, and that way, um, like the pawns can cover the squares your bishops can't, right? So the pawns right now are covering these squares, and this pawn covers these other two pawns, so I guess it covers those squares technically, which this bishop will never be able to ever cover. Um, Now, the upside about putting your pawns like over here on the same color complex as your bishop is your bishop can protect them. It can slide down here and protect this pawn, right? Um, so it's trade-offs, but usually covering more squares in the end game is just better. So um, with that in mind, I attack this and he covers it with his bishop. And I try to get my bishop over here to attack his pawn, but his king's not going to let me do that. And now he pushes up his pawn. Um, I don't know why I played this. Um, but I played that. And now he plays this. Now his pawn is covered by the bishop. I wanted to go back here and like go after the oops. I wanted to go back here and go after these pawns, but he preemptively pushes this pawn up, and now I can't do that. Okay, so now he's pushes all his pawns up here, so he's got good coverage here and here, and his king covers this pawn, and it's going to be pretty hard for me to actually shake it off and take it. So I play this, and then he makes a mistake. I'm still majorly winning because I think I can like push my king up. Like I could push my king up here, can push my king up here, um, and eventually like trade this bishop off and win the game. So that's why I'm still ahead on the eval bar. But when he does this, now the power of the bishop pair fully comes alive because I have bishop captures on h5 check. And if you'll notice, the other bishop cuts off the squares that the king could use to protect the bishop. And using your bishop, when you have two bishops in the endgame, using like, I don't know what to call it, area denial, crowd control, whatever you want to call it, um, like it's a really effective strategy. Now his king has to abandon the defense of the bishop, and that's a free bishop. And now, I mean, this is just cleanup. He pushed this pawn here for no reason, just to get killed. He's gonna try and oh, I missed a mate in one. That's nice. Yeah, I mean, it looks like this is mate in one. Yep. So I missed a mate in one. He resigned anyway. Um, but I mean, you know, even regarding that, like this pawn is falling because you can't cover it. But as you can see, like from this example, I mean, this isn't the most organized video I've ever done, but as you can see from this example, like just how good having two bishops is. Even being down two pawns, like having that extra bishop, like it really helps, and you can like slowly take away territory and slowly like attack weaknesses to win the game. So this is an example. I'm gonna have some more endgame videos coming out as I play more games and don't choke endgames.